Tendencies. The word in caricatures means the habits an artist has when making decisions in his drawing. With regards purely to the act of caricature, tendencies are a hindrance in every respect. A beginning artist might have the tendency of giving everyone the exact same nose shape. A third-year artist may routinely space the eyes far apart or close together. Perhaps a veteran will have more subtle habits. It might be that he gravitates toward rounded off shapes or parallel lines or some other kind of formal preference. Now you might ask, could it be that you are calling tendency what is in fact a deliberate style? My answer is that, deliberate or not, tending toward certain types of forms over other types of forms is detrimental to likeness. A beginning artist will use style as an excuse, one which exhibits an unwillingness to observe and study the features of the face. And it could be that a tendency is part of a legitimate, mature style as well. But that doesn't keep it from hindering likeness, which we can all agree is one of the most important aspects of caricature. Think about The Simpsons for a moment. It can't be denied that this is a fine cartoon with a successful and memorable style, but if you consider its depictions of various celebrities, you must acknowledge that the tendencies that make up The Simpsons style also limit its capacity for likeness. And since a caricature artist's first order of business is the depiction of an individual, style can't be used as an excuse in the same way. When it comes to retail caricature, I am of the opinion that aggressively avoiding personal tendencies is one of the best things a beginning artist can do for his growth. I say this because I'm aware of the pressures from the ignorant masses that come to get drawn. An artist could easily allow himself to evolve to please the audience, but every drawing will then, inevitably, be stamped with a familiar set of elements, namely big glossy eyes, tiny noses, bright toothy smiles, perfect symmetry, and observation will fall by the wayside because there are enough people who don't want to see what they look like that a beginner won't get much positive reinforcement for his clunky attempts at honesty. The caricaturist might permit first the repetition of one element that the crowd has responded favorably to. Then other features will creep in. When stepping back to assess the likeness of his drawing, his mind will unconsciously not factor in the repeated features, but only judge those other parts of the drawing that were actually decisions. He won't scrutinize the style part of the drawing, but rather see it as the dish that carries the rest of the ingredients. To resist this phenomenon, the artist needs to see every face as a completely new and different adventure. He needs to be very careful about his assumptions, be aware of his tendencies, and take all praise and criticism with a grain of salt. In doing this, he will force himself to strengthen his observation skills, and thus his ability to make insightful judgments about a face. But, try though as we may to fight them, tendencies will always be there. In retail caricature, I think this is particularly apparent. I can feel myself rolling quickly through questions in my head. Are the eyes far apart or close together? Is the nose high or low? Is the head short and fat or tall and thin? Big eyes or small eyes? Big mouth or small mouth? Big nose or small nose? And neither is rarely a satisfying answer, and time limits the number of questions we can ask. So there are always tendencies. I like drawing eyes far apart a little too much, and I like high shoulders or no shoulders at all. I tend toward rounded off shapes. Those are just a few of my tendencies. But each time I do drawings live, I seek exceptions to these characteristics. I feel good when I do a drawing that doesn't fit my mold because then the drawing doesn't feel so familiar to me. It's a pleasant surprise. I comprised a short list of tendencies that we as retail caricature artists all deal with simply because of the nature of the business. When we have 5 minutes, and the vanity of mankind and the need for money as our obstacles. Smiles. with teeth. Contrived asymmetry, like big eye, little eye, you know. Their big head, little body. Straight on face, as opposed to 3/4 or profile. Big ears, big boobs, orderly hair shape, cartoony looking. These are only a few that I thought of off the top of my head. They are all choices that show up frequently in park sketches that have less to do with the possibilities in caricature and more to do with what is convenient for dealing with our customers or our time limitations. Not everybody has orderly looking hair, but disorderly hair is a pain to draw and unflattering besides. Big head, little body solves the problem of head to neck ratio by ignoring it completely. But for some reason, this is what makes a drawing a caricature to many people. Sometimes the guy looks normal and the gal looks crazy, but if you squint just right, the guy looks goofy, the girl looks pretty, and everybody's happy. Always remember this, there are no shortcuts when it comes to art. There are plenty of shortcuts for getting by and making the sale, but I hope you want more than that. Every struggle you engage in translates directly to something within you being strengthened. People like honest, funny drawings. I've seen enough reactions to know that most people enjoy what we do. Rejects and laughless, disgusted stares are sometimes, though not all times, the result of the customer hoping for the greatness that we are unable to provide. We need to seek first honesty and be careful not to slip into tendencies, thinking we're bigger than the face and we got it whipped. Thank you.